proposal to the city of Taylor, and Chuck, if you want to just go over the overview of it, and then if there's any questions that council has, we can go through the Q&A at the end.
Okay, great.
Maybe a little history of the company, and then about your proposal to the city.
Okay, yeah, Rizzo Environmental, we've been, my dad's been doing the waste business for over 50 years. We got a family organization. We're very team-oriented. There's a lot of people at our company that are from several other waste companies. In fact, Sam Carmagno has been on the team here for a while, and he's ran Waste Management Southfield location, so he was responsible for the city of Livonia and the city of Southfield and several other communities, Farmington Hills and several others. Larry Rissette, he's been involved in Allied Waste and several other companies in the past. Rick Manzak was at one point employed with city management and was their in-house counsel, so he's been very familiar with the waste industry. We've currently served close to 50 communities in Southeast Michigan area. We're the largest municipal waste hauler. Any time we start a new community, we come in there with a whole new fleet, and basically our motto is we come in there and we collect everything that's put out, unless it looks like somebody demoed their kitchen and put it on the curb there, and there's times we're even taking that. So a lot of our proposals, including this one, is to where we collect all the recycling, the trash carts, and the yard waste on a weekly basis, and all the bulk collection is done weekly, and it's automatic. Nobody has to call in and say they put their chair out. Nobody has to call out and really, try to tell us what's out or what's unusual. We've had people put out king-size mattresses, and we've taken them away. Sometimes when it sits out in the rain for a few days, it gets a little heavy, and we got to get a few extra guys to help muscle it in. But there's been stories about that happening in a few communities. But our motto is if the customer, meaning the resident, puts it at the curb, we take it away. And for us, yeah, it costs us more to do that, but in the long run, it really helps us with retention. It helps, a lot of times folks like you really will get compliments because people put things out, and they always do test us, and we always take it away, and makes a lot of people happy because they really feel like they're getting a lot more for the services.
So you guys essentially there'd be 4 pickups potentially weekly: rubbish, recycling, special pickup, and then compost.
That's correct.
And then with us, it'd be one more, which is the simple recycling, which is not anything to do with them, but that would also move to a weekly schedule. It would mirror the recycling. Yeah.
So everything's automatic on that collection day, and everything would be, per the current collection schedule. So whatever the collection schedule is today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna adhere to the current schedule, and everything's gonna be automatic. So again, whatever bulk items are put out, no matter how much it is, it's all picked up on that service day. And we really make a strong attempt to get everything done, before 3:30, 4 o'clock is always our goal. We want to kind of be off the streets well before the kids get out of school. So a lot of times we're on our way to the dump site, and then, we really like to be parked. Now there's times where you get your peak, compost times of the year and trash, so it puts us out there a little later. But whenever we start a new job, we always come in with extra trucks, extra equipment, probably about 20% more than we need. And for this job, we would come in with all new equipment. None of the equipment that's being used now would be on the streets. And we feel that we can coordinate the efforts really well with Paul and his group. I've had a lot of dealings with them in the past. We have a really good relationship with them, and we're looking at starting ahead of schedule too, and actually servicing a few weeks for no cost as part of the proposal.
Question. I noticed your trucks and you keep them pretty clean. You got a facility that washes them right at your place, or you clean them every day?
We clean them probably about 2 to 3 times a week, yes. And our facility is in the city of Wayne. It's off of Michigan. It's Van Buren, and right off of Michigan there. So if you, it's actually just south, east of 275, right by Woodman Meadows.
Another question. Sometimes we'll have paint, other liquids that will seep out of the truck. You guys back and clean that out when it gets on the roadway?
Absolutely. Yeah, if something happens like that, which it does time to time, we've got several, of our own crews, plus we've got some really good subcontracted power washing companies. I mean, it's immediate. If something happens, if there's any kind of spill, we contain it. We'll come out there and we'll take care of the issue right away. And we run 400 trucks a day on the street, so we're really equipped to handle those kind of things. If the flood happened on the other side of town, we went into several communities that we didn't even serve and kind of rescued them. Dearborn was one of them. They had a lot of stuff put out for the flood, I think, for about 4 or 5 weeks. And we went in there with one day, and one day I think it was 110 trucks, and we cycled through the city twice. So we have a lot of those capabilities, which a lot of our competitors don't. And I think our proposal also has a rewards for recycling component, which gives everybody an opportunity to, be a part of the rewards program. It's sort of like a recycle bank program that some of the other communities have. So we've got about 12 communities that have that. You guys would obviously be able to hook into that as well. We have a Q alert system, a customer service program, which allows people to, when they call into our customer service, we're able to, once we enter the information of whatever that customer wants, all our supervisors that are out on the job sites, and we'll have a dedicated supervisor or supervisors, depending on what's going on in the community, in your community with an iPad, and in real live time, they'll be able to see where they're located on that iPad, all the streets and cities, and any service requests that are open or closed will show up on their iPad. So as things happen or calls come in, we can address those things right away. And so if somebody called in and said, hey, my wheels fell off on my cart, our supervisor's got a lot of that stuff on the truck. We go to the house and we replace the wheels immediately. So if somebody needs a new cart or a switch out or a lid, or we call it a late set out or missed pickup, depending on what it is, we don't argue, we just take care of it. And that's why the guy has a pickup truck and he goes around every home that we go by that day. We have a pickup truck, a supervisor that drives by every home after all 4 services were done. So if something was set out, he's going to catch it. So we try to be proactive rather than reactive. We try not to wait for someone to call us. We try to really handle it before the call comes in. So those are some of the safeguards that we have in place. I mean, there's been a lot of times where someone will call and they say, oh, well, somebody's already here picking it up, and that happens quite a bit. We also have GPS on all our trucks. So the guy on the iPad can flip to another page and he can see where all the trucks are in that neighborhood. So at any given time, we can kind of do even a trail back, and if we think, for whatever reason, somebody says I was missed, we can look to see exactly when they drove by that house if we need to. But again, we never really argue the point of picking up somebody if we've already been by the house. We just get it. So it's kind of something that we try to really do. We try to really just say yes instead of arguing and saying no.
Are you guys union or non-union?
Right now we're non-union. Yeah.
Chuck, what is the, you talked about somebody cleaning out their kitchen, and one of our concerns is that we haven't had the special pickup, the curbside service in many years. And the first few weeks could be overloaded. I mean, do you guys foresee any issue with that?
No.
I know your
No,
proposal.
I mean, it's one of those things where literally somebody demoed their kitchen cabinets and countertop and they had it on the curb. We might question something like that and say, hey, it looks like somebody's, putting a lot of material out. We may even take it, but if we see it again the following week, that's when we would normally tag it and call the DPW guy, because that means we've had other communities where people use us as kind of their disposal for their company. Does that make sense? So that's the only time we would push back.
That's a concern of mine, because if you guys drive by it, that means it's sitting out there for our residents to look at it for another week, which is my concern about this going to this system. I mean, it's, if garbage day is on Thursday and somebody's moving out of their home on Sunday, the chances of them, as they're moving out, all that stuff's going to be there, and it's going to be, and I know we have to do our due diligence in making sure that doesn't happen, but, it's going to get into that, well, I thought I could put it out there. Well, no, you can't. Well, in the meantime, it's sitting out there for all the neighbors to look at. So
Yeah, but
That's
if-
something we really need to come together on with some sort of agreement, prior to, or something that, it's got to be notified. If you're not going to pick it up, we need to be notified immediately.
Oh, we would. No, what I'm saying is if that happened, which would be an extraordinary event, we immediately call the DPW guy, we notify him. We'll take a picture of it and we'll send him an email saying this is out here, how do you want us to handle it? And a lot of times, we'll still clean it up. We don't want it out there.
Right.
If they move out ahead of time and they call our office and they say, hey, I'm sorry, it's Monday, I don't get picked up till, Wednesday and I got my stuff out here, can you pick it up? We'll pick it up. We just route it first. So it's just what we do with bulk collection, because again, we don't want it out there. We don't want people to complain about it.